Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron.
Mike,
I'm Jeff.
welcome to another episode of the Amped Golf Podcast. Let me speak. Yeah, right.
Easy for you to say.
We've been a little inconsistent lately, but we've had some health issues that have been going on, so apologize for that. Should be good to go going forward, though, hopefully. And with that said, there's only 72 days till the Masters.
That's nice.
It is within the calendar year now, so it's a little more realistic. You
Yes,
started
it
counting
is.
it down last year, and that just wasn't a thing until we got through the holidays and got into 2023. Now it's a thing to me.
Now it's a thing. I do have
it's
the Friday or Thursday and Friday off for that, so I can watch as much of it as humanly possible and maybe play a little bit of golf. That would be fun. But one of the favorites for the Masters this year, Rory McIlroy, better be careful, or he could be next in line to get sued by Captain America, Mr. Irrelevant, Patrick Reed.
Wait, Patrick Reed may sue Rory McIlroy, like for
I
things
don't
that he's
know.
saying about
Suing
him?
everybody.
Or-
Yeah, but he's suing everybody. So last week, Aaron, you were kind of with us, but
Yeah.
not really with us. He's going after what CNN for $450 million or something, and apparently they're in Dubai right now for a tournament that's coming up this week, and they're on the practice facility. And Rory was doing something, and Patrick Reed came up next to him, stood next to him, and Rory didn't acknowledge him.
Oh,
And then something happened, and Rory moved, and Patrick moved to try to get his attention again, and Rory failed to acknowledge him again.
Aw.
So, Table for One decided to take a tee out of his pocket and throw it at Rory.
seems
Yeah,
like
that's
assault.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I actually wrote it down. Isn't that considered assault?
It's like assault, So Patrick Reed needs to probably get over himself for a little bit, right?
That's
I mean,
so crazy,
come on.
man.
I
He
mean,
needs to spend more time with his family. That's why he joined Live Golf, so he could play less golf.
Right.
I don't know what to say. I'm hoping that his family can help him get through these trying times where Rory McIlroy won't pay attention to him.
So
And
yeah,
I have news for him. Rory's not going to date him, so it's just not going to happen.
No. And we all know Rory has no love lost for the people that went to Live, although I think he should get over himself there too. Let them play where they want to play. I don't think friendships should dissolve over it. I think that's ridiculous. But Patrick Reed is he's so unlikable.
Well, yeah, when he does shit like that, it's kind of hard to to like the guy.
God, he's just
Exactly
so
what I was
unlikable.
thinking.
So
Seems like
just
a kid just trying to get attention. Like, hey, look at me. Look at Rory. Hey.
yeah, it had popped up on a couple of reports that I saw later in the day and on Twitter. It showed up on Twitter. So if it happened on Twitter, it's got to be real, right?
Well, that's
not
true.
sure if it actually happened, but this is what's being reported by a couple different sources. So let's go and run with it. Jeff and I exchanged a few text messages on Sunday about some of the coverage on the LPGA, and I didn't find it to be all that fascinating. It definitely didn't hold my attention. And why don't they have shot tracers on the LPGA?
Like none.
No, not a bit. So, and we talked about this before. They just don't send their A crews and their A tech and anything else there, which is really sad. I think did they have any shot tracers even at the ladies majors last year? I'm trying to remember if they did or not.
I want to say I do remember seeing some here and there. However, in the last few tournaments I've watched, I haven't seen any shot tracers from the ladies.
Yeah. Well, Brooke, commanded the field for basically the entire tournament.
Yeah,
right? So there was
pretty much start to finish.
Yeah, there was very little drama. There was a little drama at the end of the second or third round where somebody closed to within 2 strokes, second round. And that was really about it. After that, Brooks' lead got back out pretty extensive. So there was no on-course drama. So you
Right.
got to have something a little more exciting to get you to watch, right? And I think could do better. Better commentators, better tech.
Falling asleep doesn't even explain it. And the same can be said for some of the PGA coverage. And I bring this up because CBS is starting its 66th consecutive season covering the PGA. Trevor Immelman, who we've talked about a little bit too in the past, is only their 5th lead analyst in this time. They're going to be alternating between CBS and NBC for pretty much all of the events.
Right.
CBS will have 11 of their elevated events. That includes the Masters and PGA Championship. But what is it about the coverage? And I'm just throwing this out there. We don't have to really dive into it too much. What is it about the PGA Tour coverage that you like? What do you dislike?
You know, for me, number one, it's got to be HD stuff. I'd love for them to go to 4K cameras if they're not using them already. I know they're using HD cameras already, but I like the shot tracer because it's kind of fun to see, just exactly how close online the ball is. But I like the guys like Faraday, the old those commentators that have been around that know the guys, know the game really well. So I'd like to see and have a little bit of humor and fun, and they know how to keep it moving. That's me. I don't know what Aaron is looking for.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's the commentators that you have on the PGA Tour, they've either been on they've been doing it for the tour for so long that everyone knows who they are and they're just like namestays. They're always there, or they played professionally for a long time and they have that knowledge. I don't watch a lot of LPGA stuff, so I'm not sure what it's like on that end of things. But at least for the PGA Tour, it's engaging commentary, pretty much all the time. And shot traces are nice too. I like watching them. Everyone likes watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I'd like to see or hear more from the players in tournament. And I know it's probably not possible to mic them up because it's bulky, right? You've seen during some of the other made for TV events where they're mic'd up, it just doesn't look like they're all that comfortable with it. They have battery packs and mics hanging out and stuff like that. But I'd love to hear more from the players too. If you could catch them talking with their caddies a lot and stuff like that. Because we've heard it, Spieth especially, we've heard him talk with his caddy a lot. And I find that stuff fascinating. So especially when he overrules a caddy, it's even more fun. When you pull off the shot, it's great. But when you mess it up,
yeah,
maybe you should listen a little bit, right?
Yeah,
on you.
But it is always on you. So I think I'd like to see I'd love to see Faraday back, but he's gonna take this new Live CW contract, and he'll probably be a lead on that, which should make it interesting actually. So
well, I was gonna say you get some of that what we like to see in the Live broadcast. So we'll have to see if how that looks, because I mean Faraday, people seem to love him or hate him. I find him incredibly entertaining. I don't always agree with what he says and stuff like that, but he's maddeningly entertaining. So
absolutely. So Jon Rahm wins for the fourth time in his last 6 starts, and he moves up to number 3 in the world. Still can't get to number 1 in the world because of a few events that OWGR felt was less than other events. So he didn't earn as many points maybe as he should have. So a lot of talk around OWGR. And come to find out today that the PGA Tour Commissioner, DP World Tour, and some other guy have recused themselves from participating in the OWGR awarding points to new up-and-coming tours. One of the things Greg Norman should be very, very happy about. But Rahm not moving up to number 1 when Patrick Cantlay, when he was number 5 on the world, if he had won, could have moved to number 1, seems a little suspect.
Waiting.
What was the tournament that Patrick Cantlay could have won to become number 1 in the world?
Last week's tournament, the American Express.
Amex. Yeah, the Amex.
Oh,
he'd have won the Amex, he'd be world number 1. It's the waiting. So we talked about Mike and I. You and I talked about this a little bit last week about, how do we do this? And we talked about having this huge spreadsheet with weighting and stuff like that. That's what they're doing. And that's why this happens.
Huh.
That's what weighting does to you.
Yeah. So
seems like an interesting way to determine the best player in the world. Yeah.
Rahm is probably the best player in the world right now. He has been for probably a little bit because Rory's been absent. Right. So I don't see Rahm stopping. This is probably the best I've ever seen him. He did in an interview say he spent a lot of time listening to a lot of Kobe Bryant interviews and watching a lot of videos because he says, or he claims he sees a lot of similarities in the way they approached their craft. And Rom said having that obsessiveness that they both have over the game, he can learn from him. The work ethic beats talent every day of the week, period, according to Rom. And he likes to think that he has a really hard work ethic and he puts in all the time in the world. It's going to be really interesting because this week they play at Torrey Pines. Rom won his first tournament there in 2017, and he won the U.S. Open there.
Yep.
So three-peat. There's been like 18 three-peats since 2001 or something like that, and Tiger Woods has 14 of them. So
yeah, he loves Torrey Pines. I knew that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he
this
does.
is going to be a big one. So with that said, Rom really kind of held on a little bit and did what he had to do on Sunday to beat Davis Thompson. He shot a final round 68 in La Quinta to get his second consecutive win on the tour and his fourth victory in the last 6 international starts, right? So he said, heck of a start. Go ahead.
I was going to say, didn't Johnson have an opportunity to tie on the 17th? Could have made it a very interesting finishing hole.
Yeah, could have made it very interesting. Davis Thompson, for I believe he's a rookie or second year, I don't remember now, I'm sorry, played extremely well for most of it. But you could see the stress and the pressure getting to him. And Rom just remained Rom. He was very stoic. His ball striking, wow, he hit some incredible shots. Incredible. He got a little lucky as well because there's
always a little luck involved.
Always a little luck. There's a par 5, it was the 17th or 18th of par 5, and there's a huge sand trap that runs down along the left side, and Rom's ball just stayed up and out of that big sand trap. But Rom hit the shots when he needed to. He said, heck of a start for me. My body's feeling great. Swing's feeling really, really good, and it shows. He says, even when I'm saying I'm not as comfortable as I'd like to be, I'm still shooting 64s because everything else is firing when it needs to. So he entered Sunday with a share of the lead at 23 under par, another big under par round here. And he opened Sunday with a pair of birdies and just could not be shaken. He did have a little stumble at the par 3 13th when he missed the green and had a little bogey, but he got a birdie 3 holes later and really escaped some disaster, I think. So he held on to win, did everything he had to. Rom looks great. If you have not watched him play this year, go to YouTube and check out some videos. He looks like he's a man on a mission. He really does. So
good.
Love to see it. Yeah. I did get the win. Riding on Jeff's coattails from the previous week because Jeff got to win that week. So sure. Thompson said, competing against the best in the world is my dream, and I did that today. Proved I can hang with him. It was a lot of fun. He had a lot of nerves, he said. There was a lot of nerves. Xander Schauffele really did well, too. So he had a 10 under par 62 on Saturday. And he holed out from 225 yards on the 5th hole for an albatross to get his streak going. So if you have not seen that shot, go watch it. It's something special. It's really nice. Is it a double eagle or an albatross? What do you call it?
Either or. It works. It works.
I think as long as everybody knows what you mean, right?
Right.
Would you rather have an albatross or a hole in one?
Oh, an ace.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an ace.
A hole in one is nice. Technically, an albatross is more rare than a hole in one. So, you know.
And so a lot of times comes from further away too, because
that's true.
You know, you're mid 2s or something like that, long iron, fairway woods.
Yep. So the win shakes things up just a little bit for the world golf rankings, and not a ton, but Rory stays in number 1, Scotty in number 2. John Rahm moves up to 3. Cam Smith drops to number 4. No surprise there. He's not playing. So Cantley stays number 5, Schauffele number 6, Zalatoris 7, Morikawa 8. JT drops to number 9, and Fitzpatrick at number 10. JT didn't play, neither did Spieth. I believe JT got married, and they were both at the wedding. So good congratulations to Spieth and the new bride, JT and the new bride, and look forward to seeing you guys on tour here soon. Up next, we have the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines is one of those courses, right, Aaron? That's just layered with history and one of those bucket list courses everybody wants to play.
It's a very, very doable bucket list course because it's a municipal golf course. So
I had a tee time. I had a tee time on it. I'm
we can go
still
play.
never
It's,
gonna let that go.
it's not crazy cheap, but it's definitely not super expensive either. It's an average. If you want to play Torrey Pines South course, you're probably going to pay about $220.
Oh, that's not bad. I paid more than that in Mexico to play some courses.
If you are a San Diego city resident, you can play Torrey Pines for $60. Yep.
How much does it cost to get a P.O. box in San Diego for
Right.
6 months to establish residency? Is it worth it?
So that's the South course. North course rates are going to run you non-residents about $140.
That's not
So
bad.
to play probably one of the top 5 municipal golf courses in the country,
Right.
it's definitely
very doable.
doable.
I wonder how far out you have to book a tee time. It's probably pretty packed, right?
It says if you get advanced booking, and I'm not sure what this means. It says advanced booking fee per player on either course for non-residents is $47 around. So I think if you book far enough in advance, you actually get a discount.
So you pay, almost $300 to play there. It's not. It's got to be worth it, right? Everybody says it. So
It's Torrey Pines.
Oh man, someday, right?
Yeah.
Luke List was the defending champion here. I'm not sure he's going to be the champion again this year with the way some of these people are playing. Rahm's going to be there. Finau, Morikawa, Schauffele, JT,
Zalatoris,
Zalatoris, Taylor Montgomery, Jason
Day, if you want a dark horse.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people playing here that really have a solid chance of doing it. And I'm sorry, but if I hadn't picked Rahm, I'd pick him this week because this is one of his favorite courses. I did not look far enough ahead on this one.
Well, no.
See, I really want to hold on to my Rahm pick for major, I really, really want to hold out for a major for him this year. So I'm not gonna, as much as I want to, I'm not going to. If Tiger Woods was playing, I'd pick Tiger just because he's
How many times has he won there?
Yeah, he's won here 8 times.
Jeez.
He also won. So technically, and I have a couple pieces of fun stuff about Torrey Pines, and one of them is Tiger Woods has won at Torrey Pines 8 times. 2 of those times were in the same year because he won the Buick Invitational in 2008 and the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines.
That's crazy that they had the U.S. Open at a venue that they had a previous PGA Tour event at.
Technically, the Farmers is played between the North and South courses.
Right.
Yeah, it's the North course the first 2 days, and then the South course the final 2 days.
Right.
So, and then I know, didn't they change it last time? Didn't they add a couple holes from the North course? Didn't they mix the 2 together?
That's what I thought.
Open?
Yeah, that's what
I think they did something.
Yeah, so that's crazy. I couldn't find, I swear I read this earlier today when I was looking into this, but I couldn't find the article that I read. Apparently Tiger Woods has technically won there 9 times because he also won a junior tournament there as well.
So he is Ferris Bueller of the golf world.
Yes.
9 times.
Yeah. 9 times.
Only certain people will get that reference.
Well, that's what nobody got my date reference. He's not going to date her. So that was a reference to, not a movie reference, but
yeah. So Tony has picked Xander Schauffele this week. I'm going to go with Justin Rose.
Okay. All right. That's a wild one. Right
yeah.
there.
I was like, wow, I did not have that on my bingo card.
I can't remember everyone I picked. Have I picked Max Homa yet? That's my pick.
I don't have the list in front of me. We'll go with it. Pick a secondary just in case.
Will Zalatoris is my sececondary.
Okay. All right.
I think I picked Zalatoris. I was eyeballing Schauffele too. He had a good week last week, so
he did.
He's putting his game back together. Hopefully that carries over to this week. So I'll go with Schauffele.
All right. It's going to be an interesting week. I don't think Justin will actually win it, but I think he'll do well enough.
Former world number 1.
Get me some dough, right? And Olympic champion.
What's the standing? We haven't heard the standings in some time. I mean,
I'm not ready for the standings with all the issues that have been going on health-wise. I'll do my very best to have the standings for everybody, but I believe I'm back in the lead after winning again last week.
I
so.
doubt that. I highly doubt
Did
that.
you hear that? Winning again. So
I highly doubt that.
Hey, Ohio has now allowed sports betting. We
That's
should
right.
start betting on these things.
That's right.
yeah,
Um,
no.
To go back to the Tiger Woods Torrey Pine
Yeah.
thing, because it's kind of crazy. So he won so when it was still the Buick Invitational, he won in 2005, 2006, 2007, and then twice in 2008 at Torrey Pines.
Wow. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
When's the last time anybody's done that? Wait, I haven't really seen that in a long time.
it's crazy.
Okay, cool. Tiger is the man. We all kind of understand that, while other people will argue that he's not the man that Jack is. I think they're 1A, 1B, and
Yeah.
they've both done a lot for the game, but Tiger's really brought a lot more people to the game, in my opinion. Different era too, so it's really hard to say one's better than the other, but I
Right.
think they've both done enough for the game. It's like who's better, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux,
It's
they're
the
both
who's
fantastic.
it's the you have the modern era and the pre-modern era, right? I mean, it's kind of like
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus was the best to ever do it pre-modern, and then once the game got more modernized and more people started playing and they started introducing, there's more athletic, you could argue just the quality of athlete playing golf now is a lot higher than when Jack Nicklaus was playing golf.
And the golf clubs, it's just the equipment alone
Equipment has changed dramatically.
really changed. Exactly. So some of these clubs that they're testing right now, we'll talk about some of the YouTubers that are doing the testing are just this year's clubs. Wow.
Yeah, they've seen some of the new Callaway stuff that they've been introducing, and
the paradigm is unbelievable.
Pretty cool.
Alex Etches was hitting at 340.
Yeah.
340 consistently. On a
nice.
simulator, of course, but still 340 consistently. He's going to take it out of the course. We'll talk about that later anyway. So, all right. So the picks are in. We'll lock those in and we'll
lock them in.
We'll have an update for next week to see who's leading.
Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies.
Right. LPGA got started over the weekend for their season opener at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions, Jeff, right?
Yep. We talked about that. Brooke won by 5 or 6. It was definitely her tournament.
Yeah.
Led almost all the way. So.
Yeah. I thought there might be a little push from Corda and on the back 9 on Sunday, but she never really did anything.
So she was Rory at the Open Championship. Par.
Consistent.
Just par.
Yep.
Par.
Max Homa released a story, a statement about Nelly Corda saying she is one of the greatest golfers he's ever seen. Every shot she wanted to hit, she hit. She almost hit the flag multiple times from the fairway. She's what every PGA Tour pro wants to be when it comes to striking the ball. That's what he said.
Well, statistically speaking, if you really boil down the numbers, actually the ladies have tighter pin numbers. They, they are just.
I think we've talked about this too, and they're hitting.
We have,
They're hitting higher lofted clubs,
right,
into greens than
lower lofted clubs.
Lower lofted clubs into the greens than the men are too. So it's also harder for them to get those numbers.
More roll, less. You don't see the ladies hit those drop and drive back balls from 190 like you can see the guys do when they're hitting an 8-iron or whatever. It's 9-iron, but. I like watching the LPGA. We had it on all weekend. So, I was watching Brooke run around the Canadian,
25 years old with 13 wins so far.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a great golfer. So we'll get her to move to America and, quit flying that weird flag with whatever that leaf is and get that
right.
straight.
Yeah. Well, she was a lifelong ping player, but she made an equipment change and is now signed with TaylorMade. And in her first tournament with the new club, she comes through and pulls it out. So
I'm sure TaylorMade loved that.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah,
I bet they did.
Yeah, they loved it a lot. So
the only problem with them starting is that we don't see them again until the last weekend of February. So
they get another month off, right?
They hop on a plane, head over to Thailand. and play over there the weekend of the 23rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So they'll be over there.
That's going to be a nice.
I
little break.
wish I was flying over there so I could,
Yeah, me too.
food and see how
Yeah.
they're doing. But
Yep, I agree. So there was a little controversy at this tournament too, because there weren't enough locker rooms for everybody, and there was a situation with the locker rooms that were already there.
well, so they were supposed to set up a temporary locker room, right? And
Mhm.
then at the last minute, that didn't get done, or it wasn't ready, or they changed their mind, or whatever. For whatever reason, they didn't have that locker room. So there was definitely a facilities dispute, right? But Nelly took the right approach to it. She said, "You know what? It's not about the freaking locker room. Let's go play golf."
Yeah, I love that.
So I mean, it was a great point on her part to just say, "I'm not going to make this thing into an issue. We're here to play golf."
Yep, that's where I was
So,
going with it. I love it. Could you
yeah.
imagine if it happened on the PGA Tour, the whining that would have happened from the guys?
Well, Patrick Reed would sue the golf course, I'm sure.
Well, he's not
Probably.
part of the PGA Tour, so it wouldn't happen with
He
Pat.
would have
Oh,
walked
okay.
in anyway. He just walked in and been, this is unacceptable. I'm
That's
suing you guys.
How come you're not saying hi to me?
That's right.
I'm here.
Where's my name on one of these lockers? I'm
That's
Patrick
right.
Reed. I know I don't play on tour here, but still.
Oh, we have a table for you over here.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
perfect.
you.
Perfect.
Just you.
Oh, I love it. So we got a month off before we see the ladies again. Looking forward to that getting really kicked off and their season getting underway. Should be a pretty full field. They were missing a few players in this one, including the world number one. So looking forward to seeing that happen. Live Golf has finally announced their full schedule.
That's right. Yeah, they did release the full schedule this week.
So they did. So the closest they'll be to us is in September, the 22nd through 24th at Rich Harvest Farms in Sugar Grove, Illinois, which is about 4 hours away.
I wondered if they were
So-
coming back to the Chicago area. That answers that question. I haven't looked at the schedule. So.
Yeah. So they start off at El Chameleon Golf Course in Playa del Carmen, which is a Greg Norman design, which was also the site of a former PGA Tour stop. That's gone now. They go to the Gallery Club in Tucson from March 17th to 19th. Orange County National, Crooked Cat in Orlando, Florida in March 31st to 2nd. April, they have the Grange Golf Club in Adelaide, Australia. And then they go to Sentosa Golf Club in Singapore. Then they come back to Oklahoma at the Cedar Ridge Country Club, Broken Arrow. Trump National in Washington, D.C. in May. In June 30th to July 2nd, Valderrama in Spain, which is, that's, if it's on and I can watch something, I want to watch that because that course is one of the best in the world, really one of the best in the world. Then they go to Centurion Club in London on July 7th through 9th. So over my birthday weekend. And August, they come to the Old White Course. I love the name, right?
Old White.
The Old White Course in Sulphur Springs, West Virginia.
West Virginia, yeah.
Yeah. Then they go to Trump National in Bedminster, New Jersey again on August 11th to 13th. Back to Rich Harvest Farms in Sugar Grove, Illinois, which is something that we might be able to go see. So we'll have to look at what's happening there. And then they hit another Trump course, Trump National in Doral, Miami, Florida, before ending up in Royal Greens Golf and Country Club in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So that's their whole schedule. I think they only conflict with 2 PGA events, if I remember correctly.
Be interesting to see what they get for a viewership there, because unless people are channel surfing, right, back and forth kind of thing. But
well, yeah, they signed with the CW, right? So they got a multi-year TV agreement for rights. CW did not pay anything up front. So there's really, yeah, it's a network. It's actually a major network, by the way. So part of the story goes that it's the first major move for Nexstar Media Group, which acquired the CW network in last year. So all Live Golf events will be available to TV viewers throughout the US for free, only on Saturday and Sunday. They're not going to broadcast the Fridays.
yeah, I can see that.
you can watch it on the CW app on Fridays if you get the app.
Oh, so they're going to have coverage, but only on the app.
Right. So the network did not pay an upfront fee, and instead they're going to sell commercial time for the events and share the revenue with Live Golf. So
Oh,
whatever
okay.
revenue is brought from it, they're going to share with Live. It's going to be very interesting, but David Faraday is supposed to be, the major part of the on-air talent there.
Mhm.
So interesting. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of the Live faithful are pissed off about this because they wanted to watch it on YouTube for free. So I did not hear that it's not going to be on YouTube for free. I'm not sure if that's still a thing or not. So
Listen, I mean, if you want to watch golf, got to pay for it.
Well,
except the Masters.
That's true.
yeah. So, of course, speaking of Live, I mean, did you hear that? Just to read the peeing contest that Tiger and Greg got into?
Yeah,
Battle back and forth.
I didn't.
Yeah. Tiger has been on Greg for a while, so
Yes.
and Greg's firing back now, and Greg's doing a lot of, if you don't think your favorite blah 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 isn't involved with Saudi Arabia, you're sorely mistaken stuff. So
Right.
and people are firing back at Greg saying, you're right, they are. They're just not owned by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. So, well, they play the whataboutism game, and that's just
Sure.
never a good way to run a conversation. So.
Yeah. So and Norman, he won, right? He demanded that Monahan and Keith Pelly and recuse themselves, right, from the OWGR panel because they were the ones holding him back. Well, they did that. So OWGR is now going to look at the application as the Masters, the PGA, the Open, and the US Open Championship. Those guys, those four people are the ones now looking at it. So if they decide not to give world ranking points to Live, what does Live do in response to that? Since so far the Masters has said, yeah, Live players are going to play in it. And I believe the Open Championship has said the same thing. I'm sure the US Open is going to probably follow suit with that.
Yeah.
Don't know about the last one, but
what do you do if you're Greg Norman? What, do you stomp your feet? Do you throw another temper tantrum? Do you sue him? I mean, we're doing all that anyway, right? You got lawsuits going, and I'm not necessarily knocking Live Golf, but I know what Greg Norman would. I shouldn't say no. I have a feeling Greg would throw a temper tantrum if they don't give him what he wants, because he did that before. And what's your out? What do you do? Yell at him? Demand?
If you don't, if they don't give them OWGR points, of course Liv is going to freak out, right? So they have players, they have Liv players. DJ wrote a letter saying, hey, we need golf points, ranking points, here's why. But they're trying to circumvent the system. I'm not saying the system is good, but the system has been in place, right? And they're trying to go around the system and say, hey, all these players are suffering because they're not getting awarded points right now. Well, shit, you knew that going into it.
Well, that's so, I mean, consequences.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not trashing Liv. And again, I don't want to get into this. We hate Liv. I don't hate Liv. I'm going to watch Liv. I'm going to watch players that I like on Liv.
Right.
I don't like the team names, obviously, but I like the team concept.
Come on.
Right. I like the team concept. I think there's some validity to it. They have a TV contract. They're going to get seen by more people. I don't know that the CW is carried overseas, though. So how are you going to watch Liv in the few events here? We'll go backwards for a second. Was there 4 events overseas? The rest are here in the United States. I thought there were
5,
broadening the game of golf and trying to grow the game of golf, especially around the world. Well, what are they doing stuck in the United States?
Well, it's a good point. The PGA with more events. Let's see, they hold events in Scotland, England, Ireland, but I don't know that they go to Australia.
No.
So it's just United States, Canada,
Mexico.
Well, okay, so North America,
yeah,
and then England, Ireland, Scotland.
Right.
Wales. I mean, I don't know if they go to Wales, but
Japan.
oh yeah,
Japan.
Japan.
Good
Can't
call.
forget
Aaron.
Japan. Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, good point. I mean, the PGA already does some traveling. Just they not a ton.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there's not more. There hasn't been more noise with the LPGA and Live. I thought something might come of that.
Been quiet, been really quiet. We're reading the same articles about Liv and the president of the LPGA and Greg Norman. The old "we'll have a dialogue." Wouldn't mind talking to him. Love to advance the game of golf. That's been going on for 6 months. That's the same thing.
Yep. Aaron, you were going to say something?
No, it's just. I would imagine, the PGA, they market more towards the American audience because that's who they want to watch. That's who they want to have watching, and Liv's trying to market to a more global audience. And yet I would imagine they're definitely trying to look for sponsors elsewhere outside the United States, but I don't know any other major TV networks outside the United States because I don't live anywhere else except for the United States. So
like BBC, but I don't know how I don't know how you get on that one.
Right.
And I don't know that there's a big demand for a Live style golf in England.
And I would imagine in most places outside the United States and other developed Western countries, the average person isn't going to be interested in golf, and if they are, they probably don't really have the means to watch golf as much as we do here or in England and other places like that. I'm not sure what the average golf fan is like in Saudi Arabia. I would imagine they're probably pretty wealthy, and it doesn't appeal to a very wide range of people.
Right. Right. Unless they're building a soccer stadium for you and they're using people from other countries. Let's not go there anyway. So, hey,
indoor skiing.
You got to love it. You do got to love it.
I love that. That just cracks me up. That's Dubai, but still.
So, not entirely off subject because it has to do with Trump, but there's a great story out there. Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach.
Is this what we were talking about right before we started?
Yeah. In West Palm Beach, had their senior club championship over the weekend, and Trump won it. Members arrived on the second day of the club championship, surprised to see that Trump had a 5-point lead, but he never played the first round.
Is this the same as the Putin hockey game where he scored 9 goals?
Apparently, Trump had to attend a funeral in North or South Carolina of one of his supporters, right? But he claims he played. He told the organizers he played a strong round on the course on the Thursday prior, 2 days before the tournament started, and decided that would count as his Saturday score for the club championship. That score happened to be 5 points better than any other competitor on Saturday's first round.
I mean,
that's so stupid.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because, hey, I own it and it's me. It's reminiscent of some North Korean leaders claim that he shot an 18 on 18 holes of golf, right?
Hole in one in every hole.
I'm sorry. I just saw that story. I laughed. I'm still laughing about it. I'm going to laugh about it later tonight. I'll probably laugh about it tomorrow morning.
I would like to tell you I'm surprised, but
I declare I'm the winner.
The ego.
Yeah, he's just walking up on stage. Doesn't matter who wins. He could have showed up Sunday after everyone had played, and all right, hey, thank you all for this honor. It's been great.
I'm proud to win this by 3 points. Didn't swing a club.
Oh my god! I cannot wait. It makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh every time. So, on YouTube News, a friend of the channel, Matt Walter, has been releasing some really good content lately. I think everybody should check it out and definitely subscribe to his channel. It's starting to grow. He is starting to get some followers. His content's been pretty cool. He actually used something that I'm going to try out as soon as the doctor gives me the okay to start swinging here, is a furniture moving pad under your back foot. So that in your swing, if you're swinging incorrectly, that foot will slide. If you're sliding your hips, that foot should slide. If you're rotating, it should stay in place and just rotate in place. So, and I thought that was a really cool trick. So I'm going to try it as soon as I'm able to. I thought that was cool. He also gives you some good advice on using launch monitors and things like that, and hitting off of mats and what that looks like, and why you may not be getting really good stats on it. So check him out for sure. Matt's a great guy, and one of the best teachers in Tennessee and in the country. So love him. Good is on a roll. Aaron, I don't know if you've been paying attention to it at all, but so far they've played a match with Xander Schauffele. Then they played another one with Ricky Fowler. I didn't watch the Xander one yet, but I watched the Ricky Fowler one. It was pretty awesome. And Bubby got a lesson from David Ledbetter.
Yeah.
So
nice.
That's pretty cool.
They've also, since we're talking about good, they and do you know who Bob Does Sports is?
Yeah, I do.
So that channel
Pat,
and good both signed with Callaway Golf and have become brand ambassadors for Callaway Golf.
They did.
Yeah, they have a good video of them going down and getting fitted, which is you know, I love watching videos of people getting fitted. I think that's really interesting.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go through a fitting. I know Jeff was saying Mary's been to that
Callaway headquarters, Carlsbad, California. Yeah,
and got fitted there. So that's something
cool.
that's that'd be a bucket list item to go to a manufacturer like that and get fitted. Any manufacturer, you know, hint, and just
Mizuno.
No, Mizuno. You know,
Mizuno.
Yeah. Hey.
Aaron and I both play Mizuno. Jeff's a ping guy, but that's okay.
I am a
right?
ping. I'm a ping guy. Yep.
That's okay.
Ping and Callaway.
Former good members Micah Morris and Grant Horvath have signed with TaylorMade and just released videos with them with TaylorMade. So
They got to go to the kingdom.
Yeah, and so Mizuno gets kicked to the curb. Both Grant and oh my God, good guy, Aaron.
Grant and Garrett.
Thank you. Jeez, Garrett Clark were former Mizuno reps. So, and
we got room here in the AMP Golf for
That's
Mizuno.
right. Yes, we do.
Oh yeah, tons of room, and you know, some of us are already playing it. I'm sure we can convert other people to it as well. But
There's a room. I'm open.
Mizuno really came through for good when they were in England with Rick Shields, and their clubs got lost or not delivered, right?
Yeah.
So Mizuno rep in England was able to reach out to people he knows and
pretty much
and
gave
put
them
bags
his
together.
golf club, like his golf set and a buddy's golf set. I was like, here
Yeah.
you go. You guys can use these.
Yeah, and it just unreal service from Mizuno. I love their clubs. I'd love to get fitted for driver and 3-wood shafts and maybe a hybrid or something like that, because I really think I'm hitting the wrong shafts here. My spin rate's so high, but hey, Mizuno, right?
Seriously.
Yeah, we're not, you know, Grant and Garrett, but hey, we're okay. Foreplay guys are cranking out the content. If you have not watched Foreplay in a while, I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but
so I just started. Whenever I saw you next time, I was going to talk to you about this because we recently went back and started watching some of their videos, and they have over the last couple of months a couple really interesting ones, and one of them is Frankie has gone to see a sports psychologist. And a renowned golf sports psychologist to help him with his chipping yips. And he has maybe the worst chipping yips I've ever seen anyone.
Oh, they were bad. Yeah.
Butter knifes it across the green constantly, can't do it. And he said that since doing that, he's went from like a 10 handicap to like a 5 or a 4.
I gotta say they're playing really good. Jeff, do you watch them at all?
I don't.
They're a group of guys. There's they've added another player to it, and they're pretty down.
Barstool Sports, you know, that's who
they're going to drink and swear, and you know they play after a hard night of drinking. They do. Barstool Sports puts on a series of golf events all over the country,
right?
And they release a schedule. I don't know, something like 20 events that Barstool's doing. But Kisner plays with them a lot, and they roll up after a heavy night of drinking, like all night or drinking till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. They're pulling up to the first tee, like, oh god, you know, Jesus, let's see what this is gonna do. You know, a lot of people like them because they're kind of like us. They're regular guys. You know, they're going to get out there, they're going to swear a bunch, they're going to hit some shanks, but they're also going to hit some good shots and have a good time. So their content is just, they really are cranking it out right now. So I highly recommend checking it out. It's a lot of fun, and their golf has been better. They are playing some good golf. Frankie in particular is playing some strong golf.
It was just really interesting to watch that video because it was very different from their normal like formula that they do, They went into a lot of detail about, why Frankie struggles with this and kind of, all the bad negative thoughts that you have in golf. And one of the things that I took away from that process is the sports psychologist was really, really working on having a routine before you shoot or before you do your shot, and doing that same routine every single time before every single shot. You should pick where you want to shoot. He said, if you're like Frankie, like if you have like really fast paced brain, you should really slow yourself down when you're doing this, because a lot of times people tend to rush their routine, and that they then rush the shot, and it produces a bad outcome. And then you get in your head about it. And then that just breeds a bad negative cycle that just really fucks up your whole round. But he was really adamant about find a routine, rehearse it, go through it slowly, and then, set the pace, do stuff like that. And that was a huge, I guess, game changer for him. And he halved his handicap because of it.
Yeah, I'm that way with putting right now, right? Need to extend it the rest of my game, but like I have the same putt routine every single time. So, and the pro that Mary and I took lessons from years ago, she was very much into the sports psychology, had written some books on it, and that was really her focus, was the mental game. So it's interesting that you're talking about that. So
yeah, I think that's something that I struggle with a lot, is just feeling rushed and feeling like I need to go, but I can take a minute to pick my line, take a good practice swing, step back, address the ball, do a little waggle, or just have my routine and go through that whole thing every single time. And just having that ritual that you do before every shot, kind of, it's just, it helps you get into that headspace.
Right. Get your brain in the right spot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think we all, especially if we're playing together and we're annoyed at there might be a slower pace of play. Maybe we're the ones that are the problem, right? Started thinking
we
about
probably
that.
are, honestly. I mean, I thought about that a few times, where it's like, man, we finished around in 4 hours, and it's like, part of me is anxious because, I just spent 4 hours on the golf course, but then part of me is like, that's a pretty normal round of golf. You know what I mean? Like that's also standard. A normal round of golf.
Right. So yeah, I agree. Matt Walter also released a video, and I haven't watched this one yet. Something about you should never coach your friends. So
never.
Maybe we should watch that one too.
Yeah, never coach your friends.
He's probably not wrong.
He's probably not. So check out their content. We really liked it. Stacked Golf, which if you haven't watched Stacked Golf, it's John and Ash. They do a lot of shopping and thrifting for golf clubs, and it's one of the reasons I like them. He is extremely knowledgeable about, this is a good golf club for this. If you do this, this is really great. These are great prices. These are not great prices. So you can really learn a lot by watching them walk through thrift stores, secondhand stores, play it again, stuff like that. They do. They're in Florida, so they have a lot more access to golf clubs than we do here in Northwest Ohio. But you can learn a lot from them. And they were just at the PGA Merchandise Show, which is something that I would love to go to at some point.
I would also love to go to that.
It's down in Florida. It just happened, and you get to go to, everybody's there, and you get to hit everything and try every club, and it's pretty cool. It'd be a fun weekend, I think, for us to do. So I like them a lot. No Laying Up is a favorite of mine. I know, Aaron, you like them quite a bit as well. Their content, especially their tour stuff, is fantastic. Jeff, I think you would love it. Their series on Michigan is fantastic. Really, really good.
And their Ireland series is
really good. They did Bandon Dunes in that area too.
Oh yeah.
But it's 7 or 8 30-40 minute videos of them playing and talking to the it's not just them playing. They talk to the owners and builders and architects of the courses and what's behind it and why'd you do this. It's really, really cool. Really good stuff. And they really do a good job with their content. So Zach Radford just took a lesson with Mike Burry down in Dallas. Mike's one of the best teachers in the world, really. And his facility in Dallas is huge. It's massive. And anybody can go hit balls there. You might even run into Mike. So it's pretty cool. Brian Bros just brought us on the back tour of their back nine. So they bought this broken down, dilapidated golf course with an investor and are going to be building it out down in South Carolina. Something for us to think about at some point.
Moving
Alex
to South
Etch-
Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, and that,
Yeah.
definitely in that area,
Yeah.
right? So, but going down there and playing too. Alex Etches and TXG Golf Experience are two of the best I like at testing golf clubs. Alex is out of Australia. He's a different cat. He's a bigger dude, and he can crunch the ball. I mean, he murders it.
Crunch it.
Yeah. So he was hitting these the Paradigm. You know, he's carrying it 340. 340. Just freaking crazy. And people that are hitting this club are like, oh, Bubby hit it. And he goes, oh, I healed that one and it still went 300 yards down the middle. Oh, I got that one off the toe and it didn't hook like my normal driver and it went down the middle 320 yards. And the guys at Cali were like, oh, holy cow, look at these numbers. So it's pretty cool. Mr. Short Game, great content, really short videos, about 10, 12 minutes. A lot of stuff about the swing, especially the short game, things like that. Love his content. I highly recommend him. Xperia Golf just hit 100,000 subscribers, Aaron. I know they're not like, oh my God, they're my favorite, but they're doing a lot of stuff with Sam Yee. They're out of California, that group out of California. Kevin is the guy that he's a stunt double in Hollywood as well. Sam played with Zach Radford and is a former pro golfer. Really like him a lot. And I found this guy, Ben Haddon Golf. It's a smaller channel, but he's got some really cool content and does on-course interviews. He just had Grant Horvath on. He's got a good video about not making it through Q school. So definitely check him out as well. Those are just some of my favorites that I like to watch and go to when I'm looking for some golf content. So definitely got to look out there. I know there's some great content from females out there. I did enter a contest to caddy for Paige or John Daly at an event that they're having, 9 holes. So
I would love to caddy for John Daly. I should ride a golf cart with him.
Yep, that's basically what it is.
Hand him a new beer and
That's
make
right.
sure he's
Light
got
a cigarette. You know,
Diet
here you go.
Coke. Diet Coke.
Here you are, Mr. Daly. Here you go.
Yeah, right. Here, hit one out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, playing around with him and Paige has got to be fun, right? So we see what happens there. That's about all I got this week. What did you guys bring? Got anything else?
No, nothing too crazy.
Talked about all the things.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully we'll have completed stats if life slows down just a little bit. I got a pretty full day, full week this week. And Saturday we have some archery. Then I have a work event that goes till about 11 o'clock that night. And then Sunday is my day off. So we'll see what I get done then. Not sure yet. I'll know after my doctor appointment. So
yeah, absolutely. Right.
So yeah, then hopefully if it's not this week, then really soon. Aaron, I don't know if Jeff told you there's a new place in Fort Wayne, simulator place in Fort Wayne, large rooms, tall ceilings, supposed to be bigger hitting bays, things like that. So
interesting.
We'll definitely have to check it out. Hopefully we could check it out this Sunday. So that would be fun. So that's all I got. I just want to thank everybody for joining us. If you haven't done so, hit that like button and hit the subscribe for us. We'd really appreciate it. As we get really kicked off this year, we're looking forward to doing some fun stuff. So Alf's Kitchen, if you guys haven't checked him out, we've had him on the channel a couple times now, or once. He's a new golfer, but he also does some great cooking content. And he's talked about maybe if we go to Illinois, maybe joining us and doing some cooking there. Maybe we do a podcast there. So
excellent. All right.
Check it out and see. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a good week, and we'll talk to you later.
Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.